Hello, I'm Delit, and I love cross stitch, and I'm excited to share some cross stitch with you tonight. I'm going to do a WIP parade of projects that I'm working on or have been working on in the last little while, or that I have recently started. So I have some new starts, and I also wanted to share a couple of other things with you, kind of cross stitch related. So we'll just get started with that. The first thing I wanted to show you um, is something that my good friend gave me a few years ago. It's actually needlepoint. It's not cross stitch. She gave me two matching little pictures like this. I think these are the Hummel designs, kind of based off the little figurines designed by the Hummel. I don't actually know if that's a lady who designed them or... Anyway, they're needlepoint. I want you to be able to see up close the work she did. And so you can tell that it is needlepoint. I'm going to take it out of the frame. As you can see, it was done on canvas, not on like linen or... Anyway, and so that's how you get that tinier stitch. I think it's really adorable. I have those in my sitting room upstairs. And she knew I like those little sentimental figures. They're just my style. I have started some Hummel cross stitch designs. No, and they're not anywhere near finished, but I have a whole book of Hummel designs to do and some separate booklets. I've started at least 2 different Hummels, but I need to work on them. I gotta pull them out of my projects that are packed away upstairs, and I haven't had out. So the next thing I'm going to show you is something I got my mother for Christmas, but I got it for her after Christmas because that's how behind I was on Christmas shopping. And I forgot to put it in my last video. It had come, but I just forgot. So I ordered it on Etsy, and the wood wasn't really the kind of wood I was hoping it would be. You can personalize it, so I could have put her name or any kind of saying there. And it sits like this. Let me show you. They have this. I'll show you. This is how it's supposed to work. And there's more than one embroidery tray like this that you can order on Etsy. Well, they're all different, but there's the, they have their own website in case you want to order one. And they show you how you set this thing up, which that's a good thing. There's a close-up. Anyhow, it comes with this that you put together. Like so. And you can get different color finishes. I liked the darker finish. You can get a lighter one. And it has these little magnets that are in place. There's 2. You can see we've already got a needle on there for Mom. This is just so that while she's working on her cross stitch, she can have this on the table. And when I showed her that I was going to put this on the video, she said, well, bring that here so I can use it. I said, I know I will when I finish the video. Anyway, so this would sit in front of her, like so. And she can put extra needles there so they stop falling on the floor, falling off the table, which is what they do. I also got her these separate, but these are wood. And you can wrap your loose floss on here. It's not really enough to wrap all of a skein. So you would just put, like you could separate it. This is my 2 strands and this is my, whatever, 1 strand. I thought this little nook here is handy for putting things like your embroidery scissors right there. And if you're somebody like me that just keeps something like this, she does sometimes, she can just put that there. The project I'm helping her with, that she's not working on right now, uses this Kreinik, so they don't fit in the slots, but you can sit it here or just, and now it won't roll off the table. It won't roll off the table, I shook it. But you know, it's got a place to sit and not roll everywhere. And then you take your bobbin and you just put it like this. So she can have her bobbins out, and she doesn't need all of her bobbins at once when she's working on a project. And then this part is nice. This isn't the reason I got it for her. I got it for the other part, but she said, well, stick those on there. This is her current method. Right now she has poked a hole in her paper and stuck these loose threads on there. And she says, well, only one of them has the number written next to it. So stick those others. So I'm just going to show you. My fan is going to try and blow these off, but that's because I did this wrong. When I do this right, see this little hook here helps. So you could have your needle on your thread dangling from here ready to go if you don't already have a method you prefer. Our method is paper or in the fabric, and so this is an improvement. And it's just handy. So she likes that. And so she's going to get that all organized when I take it into her. She thinks that's put on here, but I'm going to take it apart. Now she'll have to put it back. I should remember what it was called. It was mailed from 3 Inches Hand Embroidery, Flushing, New York. Sometimes when I get these things, even though you think you're getting a handmade item from Flushing, New York, really you're getting a factory-made item from India or Vietnam or wherever. But anyway, he might have done the engraving himself or her. I don't know if it was a him or a her. So I got that for her for Christmas and had wanted to show you that. And then my friend sent along for my birthday. She sent me a really nice gift, which I'm going to show you. But oh, excuse me with my coughing and my cough drop, and I might have to get a drink of water or sneeze. But I've been waiting a couple of months to make my next video, and finally felt up to it and said I can't let having either allergies or a cold, whatever this is, you know, mucus, and the cough keep me from making my video, because at least I feel like doing it. So she sent me a bunch of 8 o'clock and a really sweet letter. We used to write letters back before there was email. Some fiddlers, 14 count, I think. I think it's all 14 count. Oh, this is, yeah, because I had said I wanted some white, and she sent me white. I have a pattern that I said I need some white 8 o'clock for it, and so she sent me white. And she also sent me cream, so I can start more than one. I've got at least 3 projects there I can start. This lovely, just antique blue, and some nice dark green, emerald green. So I can do a bunch of new projects. She knows that I love to start projects, and I don't finish so many. I had been considering using this wheat straw color. I don't know if you can see with it in this. Can you see that color? On my computer screen, it does not look like, it's kind of a golden yellow color. If you think of what wheat color is, that's what it looks like. So here's what she sent me. I had said to her, I really wanted to start this, but I couldn't afford to get the Afghan fabric because of how expensive it is to get such a huge piece of fabric. And this called for Angelica cloth, which I couldn't ever find Angelica cloth for the size that I needed for this Afghan, but I really wanted to make this Afghan. And so she said, I want to get it for you. And I said, no, it's too much money. And she said, that's the point, which was so sweet. So she got me the fabric on eBay that I said, well, this is Novara. And I think it's taupe. It's huge. It's bigger than I need for the Afghan. I'll probably be able to make 2 Afghans out of this. It was 2.5 yards. See? Oh, 2 3/4 yards. Anyway, let me let you see this up close. So I didn't know because I had only seen it on the computer. This Afghan fabric that I had that she had seen is super soft. And it's probably like a Charles Craft or something. Anyway, super soft. So I just thought it looked soft. I assumed it would be soft. It never entered my mind that somebody would make Afghan fabric and not make it soft. But it's kind of scratchy, actually. So I might, when I finish it, sew like flannel on the inside of it. That will help protect the stitches and make it soft to put up against your face. And then it will be really warm. It will be really heavy because it's already heavy. But I wanted to show you that I started. Over 2 threads. Yes, it's like really bulky to show you because I haven't cut the fabric. But I'll show you which letter. I believe it's no letter. It's this these motifs that are in the corner. I had to unpick it and do it all over again because they rotate for each corner that you do them in. And I'm doing the one for the top corner up here. Anyhow, you have to leave enough to the side to make your fringe, to make it real pretty. You know, you bunch them together and tie them together. But anyway, that's what I've done. No, I don't know if I'm showing it to you right side up or not. You use all 6 strands of floss. I tried it with fewer and it doesn't look good on these great big holes. You got to use all 6 strands, but that will make it, when you're done and you've cross-stitched that, that part will be soft, even if the fabric itself is kind of scratchy. I sure hope you can hear me well. I hope I don't make this whole video and then you can't hear me well. Sometimes holding the fabric and things up, the sound quality isn't great. I have a wonderful microphone to attach to my computer. I never have been very good with technology, and so I don't know how to make it work. I had to have my nephew help me make it work back when I was trying to do some genealogy, like recording my parents talking about their lives, which didn't work. I didn't want to do that. Anyway, so that happened after I started my first cross-stitch Afghan. So excited to finally start. I finally decided I made my video about this book. Gerda Benson, Danish lady who kind of revitalized cross-stitch. And she has these wonderful patterns. She has a bunch of rose patterns. And in this book, they show that you could like make a bell pull, which would be wonderful, or you could frame them. This is just a delightful idea to do several of the patterns like this and then frame some in a larger, like on a larger count fabric next to it. They also had the idea, they showed how, like with some of their other patterns, you can just put 3 together on the same fabric and frame that or hang it up. They had the idea of pillows or placemats. It was one of the things I liked about her book, was giving all these ideas. And then here they tell you what to do to put all of them on a large size fabric. How to plan it out to include all the rose patterns. They have other patterns, plants and like, sorry, trying to be able to cover this up and show you. Oh, I want to show you from the back of it. They have these little scenes of life, kind of pleasant little daily scenes that you can do. Anyway, I decided I could do those on this. Well, I thought of all the different things I could do on this fabric because it was not the right number of squares for this or for a lot of the other patterns that I wanted to do. Sorry, I really have to just keep the cough drops in me or the mucus takes over and I start like hacking and choking. I'm serious. But not if I keep sucking on cough. So I started. I want to make sure I am showing this to you the right way. I decided the layout I was going to do of the different rose patterns. And here is my first one that I've done the most on. And I've started another square. And I'll show you which patterns they are. Now here I am just doing 2 threads over 1, actually, instead of going over 2. It would be beautiful to do it over 2, but they were just not quite the right size to go over 2, so I'm doing it over 1. And then the next one that I'm doing is not right next to it, so I'm mess up. But over here I've started on the branch. It is kind of unraveling, but since this is just going to be fringe, I think that'll be okay. I found some of these threads that are unraveling, like this, that have come off and maybe fallen somewhere. They were in my mother's paper, not the one I showed you, but another paper where she has put various threads of loose threads of hers, and I said, "This is not one of your DMC threads. This is from Afghan." And she said, "Well, I was using it to go around the edge and with the edge." And I thought, well, that's not a bad idea. They are nice, thick threads, and they would do nicely for that. But anyway, I've started one of the branches for one of the roses. And I'll show you. I haven't been cross-stitching for about 2 months. I have been too tired. Well, except for this. I was very excited when that came. But that's been almost a month ago, not quite. Anyhow, so the one that I've done the leaves that I showed you, is this lovely rose. So I have done, sorry, I bumped the screen. So it's over here and up here. Actually, the light colored leaves that I've done. I had to convert from Danish flower thread, that's what the instructions she gives here, over to DMC, which I had to find online somewhere. And because this is from 1974, I think. Yeah. Published by the Danish Handcraft Guild. Anyhow, I didn't have all the floss colors that I needed to just do the whole afghan, or even an entire square, an entire rose picture. So I started up with our Scotch Rose, Rosa pimpinellifolia, and now I am working on, Helen Rose. Or Ayrshire Rose. That other one where I've started the vine. I think. I'll have to double check. I'm not really sure which rose it is. It's one of the other roses. It's been that long. So I'm excited to work on that more. At first that was like all I wanted to work on was this. So it will not be hard to get back into that. Okay. We'll try to move along at a little better pace. I wanted to show you this project I started. I don't think I showed this in my last video, but I'm not sure. So, I don't know if this ever happens to you, but for a while, when I had accumulated a great number of cross-stitch projects and pamphlets, books, and whatnot, fabrics, family members thought the last thing you need is more cross-stitch stuff, even though if they asked, well, what would you like for Christmas or your birthday, I would say, you can always get me a cross-stitch magazine or fabric. However, not everybody subscribes to that. So my dear sister-in-law has gotten me like a couple of cross-stitch magazines when trying to decide what to get me. When she's not giving me a book, she loves to read. So she just got me a book for this last birthday, which does look good. I just haven't started reading it yet. But she got this for me. Sorry to say it's been a few years since she got this for me. A few years could be anywhere from 6 to 12. Probably not 12. I hope not. But it's been a while. Got it at Hobby Lobby. So whenever Hobby Lobby came to Utah. Anyhow, it's this beautiful pattern. And this is a Dimensions kit. That's like my third kit. And they do their own floss. So if I run out of floss, man, I have to contact them to get more. And so that has a lot to do with like how often you have to take stuff out and don't want to reuse the thread because it doesn't look good, or how you finish off your floss in the back. I kind of maybe use more than most people, so I am a little worried about it. But it comes like with a chart if you've never had a kit before, or a Dimensions kit, but maybe that's what some people only stitch. That's what you can find in the stores when you can't find anything else. They have these kits. They tell you how to do it. Like, if you've never cross-stitched and want to get somebody started, get them a Dimensions kit because it has a needle in it. They can just use a pair of scissors. I mean, it's nice to have embroidery scissors. It has two parts, the chart, which I'm not showing you. But on this, the other side of this is the chart, and it's in, like, the symbols are in color. It's not like a full color chart, but they're in color. So I guess that's for people who like to highlight and mark as they go. I guess those are the people who don't have to take out, or they're just more confident. I don't mark my charts like that. So that I like the full color because that's easier, faster for me to read. But apparently most people don't. Anyways, 14 count Ada, white Ada, I think it's white. Maybe it will say on here, Ivory Ada. It's designed by Susan Bourdet. And cover her name. Susan Bourdet. I don't know that I'm familiar with hers, but their little thing with floss, isn't that neat? So I started with the bright red. I start in the middle. That's how I learned to do it. So I always start in the middle on my poppy. And I think you can tell I am making a poppy there. I think I'm holding it upside down. I think, yeah. Anyway, that is, I think it's here in the middle. I started on it. I probably even had to take stuff out. I'm just doing 2 strands of floss, I think. And yeah, I still just put my needle in my fabric. Maybe not the best thing. Maybe I need to get myself, I'm not going to, something like my mother has. I will just keep putting it in my fabric. Sorry, trying to keep stuff where it needs to go. I may have worked on this since I showed it to you back in 2023. So I just thought I'd show you where I'm at with this. I don't remember what I've stitched, but just in little places I've stitched. This is Barbara Anna's House on Hill. I think it's House on Hill sampler. So I still have a lot to do. Somebody on one of their YouTube videos, so someone I really enjoy watching, no complaints about them that way, was complaining. Some people complain about the filling in a lot of gray, like a big swath of color. And then somebody else was saying how they were looking forward to getting to the big swath of color. Well, I thought it was kind of funny how some people don't like it. Other people do. I don't mind it. When it's just a great big stretch of color, and that's actually not such a big section of color, but then I can just go faster. Trying to remember which project this is before I show it to you. And then I could show it to you right side up. On a piece of white 14 count. I think I started another Paula Vaughn. Yeah, I remember now. Oh, I was so excited. I might have talked about doing it, and I don't know if I've shown this in my other video or not. So maybe I haven't made any progress. I don't know. But I decided I already was working on this one. I'll show you my progress on that, the Forgotten Basket. But from this same book, my mother has, maybe it's in my mother's book. No, I think it's in this one. Could be in her book. No, here it is. I think she has this in her book as well. She has a book of Paula Vaughn, and I'll probably pull that out and start something from hers too, because they're so adorable. She's a painter, and then people have made cross-stitch designs from her artwork. So I've started this. So what I'm showing you on that fabric is just the window frame. And I was hoping to be able to buy some stuff to go on our patio, like rocking chairs or patio furniture, because I enjoy sitting out in the backyard. But I've had trouble with my teeth. Having more trouble with my teeth, and to get your cavities fixed with sedation, I said was going to be between $600 and $900. Not to do the cavities, just sedation. Yeah, we'll see. I haven't done it yet. So this is just down here, the window frame. 2 strands over, on Ada. So, let's see. And that was the Polyvon, but I was going to show you the other Polyvon. Oh, look. This is just not tidy. It's not. Put this back in. I'll be patient with me. Well, I put this floss back in here so I don't get a big mess. That I have to deal with. I mean, I have a big pile of stuff, but right now it's kind of in an organized way. I have to make sure one is, oh, here it is. It's on this pretty linen. I know some people can tell you exactly, not just the color, and the count, and everything on their linen, like who made it, where they got it. And I know that that's important to some people, but it's like I think this is MCG Textiles, actually. I think it's a casual linen, but maybe it's not. Anyway, it's 32 count probably, or 28. That's not specific. The color is oyster, I think. So this, I've done a lot. Before I had just done a little bit of green. Now I've worked on the fence post, the basket. I've just done a bunch more on. You can see that this is irises that I'm doing here. I think the leaves that I'm working on. It actually is starting, if I show you the picture, it is starting to look a little bit like the picture. So that came from just spending more time working just on this instead of. You see that? I'm excited. Alright, now I am done with that book. If I get to the end of this video and find out you couldn't hear anything I said very well, be discouraged. I worked on this a bunch. My friend said, excuse me, whatever happened to the poppy? The lady dressed like a poppy. I remember you working on that when you would come to my house. And you've been working on that for a long time. Shay, remember that. Sorry, I'm just organizing things a little. It annoys me for them to be laying here kind of wrinkled. And so I pulled that out and worked on it more. In fact, I worked on it a ton. So, let's see. I worked on the dress a bunch. Yes, I love poppies. And these poppies are kind of an orangish poppy, like you see a lot. And the ones that my sister-in-law gave me, they might have some orangish red, but a lot of it's a deeper red. So technically, they're not exactly the same. Plus, this is a woman, and the other one has a hummingbird. So there's a little bit of variety. And no, I am not making these for anyone else. These are for me. This will be a pillow, probably. And the other one, I don't know. They would actually both be nice as pillows. The other one I might frame. But I've also worked on some of this stuff going around in different spots. Anyway, so I've made progress on it. Her dress is very close to being done because of how much I've done. I was gonna say I feel like I can almost remember the TV show I was watching when I worked on her. Or my mother was watching. Maybe I wasn't watching it. I did work on my This Is the Day sampler, but I did not go to the trouble to bring my pattern. I mean, I gathered everything, and that was the one thing I forgot. That's what I mean to say. And I did not take the time to go back upstairs and hunt for that. But I've worked on it. You can see over here on the sheep, there's progress on the sheep, on my grass. You probably can't tell, but I've worked on the grass, and just on the dog and the tree and different things. Let me show it to you in parts because it's kind of... Isn't that a cute little dog? I like it. Let's try that. I don't think I really have worked on the bottom much, so we won't worry about that. My mother will be happy after I do this. I can not have this all sitting out in the living room where I have not been working on it for 2 months, and I can take it upstairs. I have not been working on this, but I would just remind you, these are my napkins that I'm making. Over one, a very tiny part of the pattern that's going to be a lot bigger. That's my folk designs. It's super tiny. I don't know what size that is. I have not worked on my sampler that I'm designing, but I have come up with more things to design for myself. And when I talked about it, my friend said, "Oh, I think I might want to do that too." So I think I'll just remind you of my little sampler I'm working on. I don't think I have worked on it since I made a video in January or February, but this is my sagebrush sampler. This is my alphabet up here with a number line and sagebrush down here. And I have a lot more to add, especially on the sagebrush. My mother is making an alphabet for this pattern she's doing, and said she was kind of struggling with one of the letters. I think the G. I said, you just keep working at it, and eventually you find something you're satisfied with. And I do feel like just keep taking it out. If you don't, when there's something about it that irritates you, like, don't worry that it's going to take you 10 more hours, or that might be an exaggeration, but however many times you have to take it out and start over. Keep doing it till you get it how you like it. Then you'll be happy with it. So there I am, storing my needles and my fabric. I don't think I've worked on my buffalo, my Yellowstone buffalo. But this is going to be a buffalo. That is pattern. I kind of, even though I have a huge table in here and plenty of space, I'm limited to, like, what can I reach? That's how much space I really have. So I could do this in a small room with a small table. It would be the same. This is how much space I have. I was thinking that maybe my pattern for that was in here because I saw my Yellowstone Inn or Lodge pattern, but that was a mistake. I haven't worked on this in a long time. It's not a very big piece of fabric. This was a kit I bought. That's how far I am. You can see it does. I mean, if I show this with the pattern, you can see that I'm working on the border and the log with that brown. But I think the pattern must be over here. So I just have to be willing to crumple that fabric for a second. Right there. Maybe I can get to it. No, maybe I didn't bring it in here. These other patterns. Oh, but I didn't show you my Poppy Lady pattern, the one that's almost finished. I didn't bother to show you. If you've seen my other videos, then you know, but very likely you haven't. So, let me show you. The Poppy Lady is a group of 3. And this is the one I've been working on. So that's what she'll look like when she's done. It's based off of Walter Crane's Poppy Ladies. And I could make the Poppy Lady, and I could make the other flower ladies that he did. He did that way back in 1902, designed the artwork for that. This is a great book by Barbara Hammett, probably out of print. I would love to make everything in here. And at my rate of starting projects and not finishing them. I did work on this one. This is my Good Shepherd pattern. I decided on this Good Shepherd. This is a Leisure Arts pattern. And I've been working really just stitching on a shade in this cloak of his that goes right under where the lamb is. So I'll show that to you. This is my fabric. This is another MCG Textiles. It's Belgian linen, I think. It's soft. I love it. I guess they don't make it anymore, so I'll have to. I don't have money for it really, but if I were going to spend money on something that I don't have money for, I would get on eBay or Etsy, wherever people are selling their mom's or aunt's or grandma's fabric that they don't want or have a use for. That is what I would do. So I think you can see that the lamb goes here, and this is what I'm stitching. It's just the creases in the fabric under the lamb. So I have a lot more to do on that to finish it. I have really enjoyed making it. If I don't keep up on these cough drops, though, that's about the longest I've gone without one, without having a problem. Okay. This is one I have not worked on, I don't think. And you'll be able to tell from how little is done on it. Another MCG Textiles. I forget the name. I guess if I watched one of my videos, I probably said in the video. You know what happened here? I think I had borrowed the color from my mother, and she needed the color back for her project. And although we are sitting in the same room cross-stitching, that is my reason for not having worked on it. That would mean standing up and walking over. That is this pattern. And those are like these trees by the lighthouse. This is another piece of artwork by Lauren Blackburn, adopted to cross stitch by Linda Birch, that I bought forever ago by the Design Connection. Isn't that beautiful? Once it's done, it will be lovely. This is something that I would frame. Same with the Polygon designs. And the sagebush sampler, and a lot of these things that I've just shown you. I would frame those. So I'm just tidying up again. Okay, I have worked on this one. So this is from my old cross-stitch collection, I think, like 20 years ago almost. No, yeah, 2004, 20 years ago exactly. Um, it has a big pull-out pattern by DMC. And this is what it's going to be when I complete it, which is going to happen, right? So I've been working on her dress, mostly on the gold, and now a little bit on this beautiful. Here it looks red. However, I'll show you this. Now, this fabric is bigger than the actual amount that I'll use for this project. Over here, off to the side, I'm going to eventually cut that off. But it will still be enormous when it's framed. It goes this way. So, it's huge. This is Weigert linen, I believe. 28 count, I think. They didn't have the kind of cloth that the pattern called for. My 20-year-old pattern. That's one of the problems with waiting 20 years to start a pattern. So remember, this is the lady in the middle of the design. There's the gold that I've been working on, and there's the red. It's kind of a. Is vermilion the right color? I don't know. It's kind of like this color. So this that I'm wearing to me is red. See if it's like a deeper color than this. This is. So I forgot to say who designed that, but I'm not sure it does say. So the last thing I was going to show you is the pattern that I had said I wanted white 8 o'clock, and my friend sent me white 8 o'clock. I picked it out of this magazine, which I featured in one of my early videos last year, back in February of 2023. And they are in black and white on these pages. This old McCall's Bazaar. It has, I think, just some really delightful patterns in it. And one of the early ones, the first one, is Welcome Friend. And I, like I said, was going to do it maybe on the wheat straw. There's just a few things in there that are yellow that wouldn't look as good. But for the most part, it would have looked okay on the wheat straw. But I really like it on the white. And so when she sent me the white, I thought, well, that's just perfect. Cute little sheep. Someone on a YouTube video I watched, I want to say it was the Virginia Stitcher, because her video was so long. I haven't really had time to watch a lot of other videos. It took me a while to watch a 2.5-hour video. But anyway, I think I did watch like an hour and a half of it all one day this past week. But to finish it off, she mentioned that she got rid of a lot of her stuff from the 90s that had things like geese. But I like them. And, you know, just like my roses from the lady from the 70s. Gosh, I think those are timeless, really. My roses. I would like that in any time period. Or the Art Nouveau from 100 years ago. I love it. And to me, this is just kind of like your folk art cross stitch. And I have some of those kind of from the 80s and 90s type cross stitches that are geese and things. And I think I kind of like geese. They're pretty. So that's the one I'm going to start. That is everything. Well, I got a notebook to write down all of my grand aims. haven't written them down yet. Because I had gotten a calendar to plan out when I would do certain things. I thought the notebook might happen easier, and then from the notebook, maybe some things will wind up in the calendar. We will see. I also learned what WIP Go is. You probably already know. It's bingo with your cross stitch. And I thought that mostly did not appeal to me, but I did like the idea of getting some of my projects actually finished. Like, I'll say I'm going to finish them, but then I still haven't. So I thought, well, what if I did something like that with my like things I want to finish? And then somebody, and it could have been the Virginia Stitcher, but it could have been a different video. I'm not sure. What had that same idea? Well, except that they are doing with Go Plus. They're finishing projects. So I don't like the idea of doing it along on the computer with somebody who calls out the number. Well, I don't mind the idea of just like randomly doing like a bingo and seeing where it falls and letting that decide for me, or having some method that actually sits me in front of a sewing machine and finishes the project. I want to frame things, but so for those that are ready for framing, that still has to wait till after I take care of my teeth and, like, I have my priority list, so not high enough up on that. But the other things that I could make into pillows or whatever that don't cost as much to finish, I would like to get those done. So that is hopefully the next time I make a video, I can tell you that I have made progress in like writing down projects that I want to work on, either old projects that I have packed away that I want to pull out, or I have some projects that I've worked on in the last year that I haven't worked on in the last 6 months, for instance. So projects I want to rotate in, I guess, to my WIPs, my projects that I work on regularly. Yeah, and then just any new starts that I want to do that way. And then especially the things that I want to design that I mentioned coming up with. I want to just organize my thoughts a little better that way. That's pretty much everything I have to share with you that I learned that about what WIP Go was. I had been trying to guess what it was. Wrong. It's a form of bingo. So some people tell you that the YouTubers that they like, the Flosstubes. So a lady I really like watching is the Dutch Stitcher. I think that's the name of her channel. And the In-Hand Stitcher. I like quite a few different ones. There's a lady, I think the Kindred Stitcher. Is she the lady in Florida, or is she a different lady? There's a lady in Florida. Is that the Saltbox Stitcher? Sorry if I've confused you. But anyway, Kindred Stitcher, the Saltbox Stitcher. There's an English lady that my mom likes. She's awesome. I don't want to say the wrong name for her. But the English lady. She likes more than one English lady. So, I showed her Nicola Parkman. She's one of the designers. Love all that kind of stuff. Some of the designers that that I would love to buy some of their stuff. The cottage house samplings and the blue flower and some of those kinds of things. Blackbird Designs, Rosewood Manor, a lot of different designers. Don't have any of theirs, but I would love to. I think Rose, the Quaint Rose Needle Arts is a YouTube lady that designs her own stuff. I love her videos too. love her designs, but also the stuff she chooses to stitch. So I think that's everything. I might just ramble a bit if I keep going. I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to share your comments or questions, and I'll see you next time.